Welcome back to Movie Summary. Marvel's latest film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is an action-packed superhero drama starring Simu in the title role. Other characters include Awkwafina as Katie, Shang-Chi's best friend, Fala Chen as Li, Shang-Chi's mother, and Leung as Wenwu, Shang-Chi's father. Kingsley reprises his role as Trevor Slattery, having first appeared in Iron Man 3, and Benedict Wong also returns to the MCU as Wong, having been introduced to the MCU in Doctor Strange. Though both are brief features, the familiar characters are a welcome addition to a film that also introduces some fantastic new characters. And though the plot is action-packed and full of laughs, drama, and tension, it is the journeys of all the individual characters that makes it as phenomenal as it is. Spoilers ahead. We will talk about the plot while revealing the ending to the entire film. Here we go. The titular 10 rings are central to the plot, which begins with a flashback to thousands of years ago when Wenwu first discovers the 10 rings and their incredible powers. It is revealed that the rings grant their user immortality and a level of power that rivals omnipotence. With them at his disposal, Wenwu, the film's main antagonist, begins his quest to dominate the world, decimating governments and taking over kingdom after kingdom. He is seemingly unstoppable. Wenwu is a replacement character for Fu Manchu, Shang-Chi's father in the comics who Marvel Studios has no rights to. Leung's character is a more complex version that lacks the racist stereotypes associated with Fu Manchu in the comic books. Wenwu is a fleshed-out character whose quest for ultimate power is shown to always come with a price. When he receives an anonymous message from his father pertaining his sister's location, Shang-Chi fears that she will also fall victim to their father's merciless henchmen and is forced to confess all to Katie. Together, the two travel to Macau and find Leung, played as an adult by Munger Jong. It is revealed that she also fled from Wenwu and founded a fight club and underground betting circuit called the Golden Daggers. She chose this path because she felt alienated by Wenwu and his exclusion of her from fight training due to her being a woman. This scene establishes Leung as a force to be reckoned with. It also features a fun Easter egg scene in which Shang-Chi and Katie walk past a cage with Wong and the Abomination, the villain from the MCU's 2008 The Incredible Hulk film, inside, fighting for money. Viewers may also recognize another fighter, Helen, Jade Shu, from 2021's earlier solo film Black Widow, in which she, along with all the other brainwashed widows, escaped from the Red Room. The club is then attacked by the 10 rings and Wenwu makes his first appearance since the backstory scenes. The fractured relationship between father and son is blatantly obvious, especially since Wenwu seems more impressed by Shang-Chi's martial arts skills than his son. Shang-Chi, Leung, and Katie are taken prisoner, and Wenwu also takes his daughter's pendant, a match for Shang-Chi's and also a gift from their mother. In a twist of events, it is established that Wenwu actually wanted to steal the pendants from his children because they can be used to create a map that will guide him to Ta Lo, where he believes Li has been imprisoned. He never conquered the village the first time because he was stopped by Li, who left her home to be his wife, but resolves to raze it to the ground if she is not released. Leung's excellent acting really brings to life the unstoppable grief that became the fuel behind Wenwu's tyranny after losing Li, and it makes the audience question if she really did die during the attack by the Iron Gang, especially when Wenwu claims that he has heard her calling to him. Unable to sway him from his decided course, Shang-Chi is imprisoned, along with his sister and best friend. This is when Trevor Slattery, a former actor, is reintroduced to the MCU. After Iron Man 3, he also appeared in the Marvel short film All Hail the King. Kingsley's 3 MCU appearances are all linked together by the existence of the 10 Rings terrorist group, which was first referenced in Iron Man. In Iron Man 3, Slattery pretends to be the Mandarin, and then in All Hail the King he is broken out of prison and abducted by one of the 10 Rings who tells him that he has angered the real Mandarin, who we now know to be Wenwu. Slattery's story then picks up when he meets Shang-Chi. He managed to avoid a death sentence by becoming Wenwu's court jester. He and the Hundan Morris propose to lead Shang-Chi to Ta Lo to stop Wenwu. Their father is still hearing Li's voice, reassuring him that he will free her and they will be a family once again with their children. The club is then attacked by the 10 rings and Wenwu makes his first appearance since the backstory scenes. The fractured relationship between father and son is blatantly obvious, especially since Wenwu seems more impressed by Shang-Chi's martial arts skills than his son. Shang-chi, Leung, and Katie are taken prisoner, and Wenwu also takes his daughter's pendant, a match for Shang-Chi's and also a gift from their mother. In a twist of events, it is established that Wenwu actually wanted to steal the pendants from his children because they can be used to create a map that will guide him to Ta Lo, where he believes Yang Li has been imprisoned. He never conquered the village the first time because he was stopped by Li, who left her home to be his wife, but resolves to raze it to the ground if she is not released. Tony Leung's excellent acting really brings to life the unstoppable grief that became the fuel behind Wenwu's tyranny after losing Li, and it makes the audience question if she really did die during the attack by the Iron Gang, especially when Wenwu claims that he has heard her calling to him. Unable to sway him from his decided course, Shang-Chi is imprisoned, along with his sister and best friend. This is when Trevor Slattery, a former actor, is reintroduced to the MCU. After Iron Man 3, he also appeared in the Marvel short film All Hail the King. Ben Kingsley's 3 MCU appearances are all linked together by the existence of the Ten Rings terrorist group, which was first referenced in Iron Man. In Iron Man 3, Slattery pretends to be the Mandarin, and then in All Hail the King he is broken out of prison and abducted by one of the Ten Rings who tells him that he has angered the real Mandarin, who we now know to be Wenwu. Slattery's story then picks up when he meets Shang-Chi. He managed to avoid a death sentence by becoming Wenwu's court jester. He and the Hundan Morris propose to lead Shang-Chi to Ta Lo to stop Wenwu. Their father is still hearing Li's voice, reassuring him that he will free her and they will be a family once again with their children. After escaping the compound where they are being held, the small group drive to Ta Lo. Once in the village, they meet Ying Nan, Michelle Yeoh, Li's sister, and Shang-Chi and Shiling's aunt. When she finds out that Wenwu plans to attack the village, Nan reveals that he is actually being influenced by a dweller in darkness that hopes to lure him to Ta Lo so that the dark gate will be opened and it will be freed. This is not the first time the dweller has attempted to manipulate someone into freeing it, but it has never succeeded before. Thousands of years ago, that same dweller started an assault on Ta Lo along with its minions, but a dragon named the Great Protector sealed off the dark gate, trapping the dweller on the other side. Ever since then, the people of Ta Lo have guarded the gate to keep it sealed. It is confirmed that Li is indeed dead, but the dweller is using Wenwu's love for her to manipulate him into believing she is still alive. It is the only thing that will get him to Ta Lo, but, as Li is not alive and Wenwu will not stop the impending attack until he sees her, Shang-Chi and Ta Lo's inhabitants are forced to prepare to defend the village. This is another of the film's fight scenes, in which the villagers are forced to become warriors should they hope to defend their usually peaceful village. The film is all about transformation, and this scene is the most pivotal example because Katie, someone who had no idea about the existence of magic, mythical beasts, or dangerous terrorist organizations, must also become a warrior and fight alongside Shang-Chi. And as the characters prepare themselves and make armor, the film slowly but surely anticipates the upcoming battle. Sure enough, the Ten Rings arrive, led by Wenwu, and begin battle with the people of Ta Lo. The intricate choreography really makes the fight scenes, and it is the interlacing of grief with anger and sorrow with violence that sets them apart from the fight scenes that you commonly expect to see in a superhero film. The fight between Shang-Chi and Wenwu truly cements the foundations of this film, family and history. When he fights his father, Shang-Chi is doing more than just defending the village. He is striking back at Wenwu for all that he put him through as a child to keep his tyrannical reign alive. And he is also truly becoming the man he was always meant to be, using his martial arts talents without the threat of his father. Though Leung's Wenwu is not an all-evil antagonist either because he only initiates the battle out of a desperate hope that his wife, the only person in the entire film to inspire goodness in him, could still be alive. Though he was a cold-blooded dictator in the film's opening scenes, he is more of an empty shell by this final battle, willing to fight and even kill his own son if it means he can continue to cling on to that one frail hope he has left. The CGI of the Ten Rings emphasizes how powerful they are and also how powerful they make their master. As the film's title suggests, they are just as much a character as Shang-Chi and Shu Wenwu. That fight scene is brought to an end when Wenwu throws Shang-Chi into a lake and presumes to leave him to drown. As Wenwu harnesses the power of the Ten Rings to destroy the sealed door that he believes imprisons Li, he actually begins unleashing the Dweller's minions, the Soul Eaters, who seek to harvest the souls of the humans for the Dweller to consume. The Ten Rings are forced to change tack and fight alongside the people of Ta Lo instead of against them. Still in the lake, Shang-Chi is revived by the Great Protector Dragon, one of the film's most stunning CGI spectacles, and both of them return to the battle. The Great Protector fights off the Dweller's Soul Eaters for the second time, while Shang-Chi returns to finish his fight with his father. It culminates in Shang-Chi dominating Wenwu, though he makes the decision to spare his father's life. Wenwu, in the first act of fatherly love that Shang-Chi has ever known since he was 7 years old, sacrifices himself to save his son from the Dweller in Darkness, which has made its escape and claimed Wenwu's soul. Before he dies, Wenwu bequeaths the 10 rings to Shang-Chi, gifting him the power he needs to be able to kill the Dweller. In the final fight scene of the film, and arguably the most visually spectacular, though it has strong competition from the earlier battle scenes and the scene on the Mooney bus, Shang-Chi battles the Dweller. With the help of Leung, Katie, and the Great Protector, he defeats it with the 10 rings and restores peace and harmony to Ta Lo. With the tyrannical leader of the 10 rings dead and the Dweller destroyed for good, Shang-Chi has overcome the trauma that his martial arts skills brought him in his childhood, the hold that his father had over him, and the lack of understanding about his own identity and destiny. Journey now over, he decides to return to San Francisco with Katie. Despite now being a fully fledged superhero equipped with the 10 rings that can grant him immortality, Shang-Chi still values the life he built in San Francisco and how much it shaped him. The film ends with the two best friends meeting Wong and being asked to accompany him to the Sanctum Sanctorum in New York, previously featured in Thor: Ragnarok. And as with any Marvel film, there is also a mid-credits scene and a post-credits scene. In the mid-credits scene, Shang-Chi, Wong, and Katie speak with Carol Danvers, Brie Larson, and Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, about the 10 rings and their complicated history. This seems to hint that there is more to be revealed and discovered about the 10 rings in the future. The post-credits scene focuses on Leung as she steps into her father's shoes and takes over as the new leader of the 10 rings. Both of these scenes suggest that there could be more appearances lined up for Shang-Chi, though whether that would end up being a trilogy or appearances in other MCU films or TV shows is not confirmed yet. There is great potential in expanding Shang-Chi's story to the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially since so many other characters have recently had their origin stories told, including Larson's Carol Danvers and fan favorite Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff. With an established backstory and a great superpower at his disposal, Shang-Chi has the potential to carry future films as the title character or to be a great addition to crossover films. The 10 Rings organization finally being properly established in an MCU film holds promise as well, especially because Mungerjong's Leung is such an interesting character even without the association of Shang-Chi. Her new role as leader of the 10 Rings puts her in a position of power that must extend beyond a single film. Marvel's 25th addition to the MCU, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings has so far garnered amazing reviews that have praised its cast, martial arts, and CGI. It has also received favorable feedback for its lack of romance in the storyline. Of course, Xu Wenwu and Yang Li's loving relationship is one of the most heartbreaking and integral plot points, but it is mainly included as backstory to set up the plot. Shang-Chi and Katie have the strongest relationship of any of the characters, and it never evolves into a romance, which allows the film to focus solely on its main character and his journey as he returns home, inherits a powerful heirloom from his father, and becomes a superhero in his own time and own right. And as the MCU's first Asian superhero with his own film, the plot is right to focus on Shang-Chi's character and his development to mastering his past and powers. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. Goodbye for now.